TTJ Tech.
And welcome everybody to our Monday session for this week of iPad for All Computing, coming to you from
TTJ Tech.
Oh, we are so glad to have you, my friends. So glad to be with you today. Thank you so much for joining us here at iPad for All Computing, www.ttjtech.net. Thank you, my friends. Oh. Today is a very special day, folks, because this is what we call App Bonanza. All right, my friends, let's get started with the first app in our App Bonanza. The way this works is we're going to take a look at different apps that we have pre-installed that ship with our iPad. We're going to take a look at a whole bunch of them today. Now, before we do that, I want to remind you that if by some chance you happen to be tuning into this recording on YouTube, as you very well might be, we want you to do us a few favors, all right? Please help us get things rolling by doing the following: like, subscribe, and hit the bell. That's like, subscribe. What's the third one, my friends? Hit that notification bell. So what we mean is leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel if you've not already had a chance to do so, and then be sure not to forget to hit that notification bell. Where's my notification bell? Guys? Thank you. Tell you what, these tech guys sometimes, my goodness, you just never know what they might be doing. They're always they're on vacation, you know? What can I say? They're on vacation. It's yeah, they're on vacation. I think I heard one of them earlier getting ready to jump into the swimming pool. It sounded a little bit like this. And before that, I know one was making some food. We could hear that. Yeah, then he opened up a can of soda and poured it too. We've even got footage of that, guys. What was that? A little bird flew by. Okay, that's enough. That is enough, guys. You know what? We really got to get the ball rolling. You guessed it, App Bonanza! Now, in a few short sessions, we will be taking a look at the App Store and how to download many apps that you may choose from. But it's also important to acknowledge that there is a wide variety of built-in apps, or that is, apps that are native to the iPad, pre-installed, shipped by Apple, and ready for your use. The best part is they're integrated with iCloud, with other apps from Apple, and with all of your devices. In many cases, they are the only apps you'll need for the specific functions they serve. Now, we may need other apps for other functions, but if we want to use a calendar, for example, why bother with Fantastical? If we want to take notes, why bother with Evernote? We can do all of these things right in the native Apple apps. All right, my friends, we've got several apps we're going to take a look at today. And the first three are going to be Calendar, Reminders, and Photos, right here in our App Bonanza. You might not believe this, but I've got an iPad here.
4:31 a.m.
All right.
Home.
First app I'd like to launch today is Calendar. You know, Calendar, like many other apps, is fully integrated with iCloud. And so if I create or modify or delete an event on one device, the changes automatically get reflected on all of my devices. For example, if I use my iPad to create a new event, that same event shows up on my other iPad, my iPhone, my Macintosh, all of the devices that have access to my Apple ID. Now, I guess Apple TV doesn't have a calendar on it, but you know. Now, the calendar, it is quite possible to add events to the calendar with Siri, and we actually demonstrated that in our Siri demo from a couple weeks ago. But we are now going to focus on actually using the calendar app. We're going to focus on two aspects of that today. We're going to focus on event creation, and then we're going to focus on how to find events once they are on your calendar. Now, I'd like to also be very quick to point out something important to you. There are so many features and functionalities when it comes to creating events, right? So one of the things we can do is we can include travel time in our events. And when we do that, we will always know when it's time to leave for that event. Now, we can invite other people to our events, of course. And if we know their Apple ID, we can just enter that and it sends them an invite right to their calendar inbox. If we happen to have an email address that's not their Apple ID, then it just sends an email to them and they can still accept or decline the invitation. We also can have multiple alerts for an event. We can have attachments for our events, maybe a document of some sort, or registration or confirmation from a hotel or something. We can have URLs, websites, right? Again, we can easily add locations, and that's so important not only for the time to leave alerts, but also for getting directions to your event. There's just so much that we can do. We can have recurring events with really advanced custom repeats. And then, of course, let's not forget also that we can have multiple calendars in the Apple Calendar app. So, of course, our first choice, iCloud. The best one, right? But we can also have, should we feel the need to, a calendar that is just local to one device, like an on my iPad calendar, I believe. One of the other things we can add is other types of accounts. So, for example, if you have a Google account set up on your iPad, I mentioned to you a few weeks ago that you might turn calendars on if you need to use the Google Calendar. Otherwise, you might leave them turned off. Similarly, you can have, an Outlook calendar and things of that nature. The other thing you can have is multiple calendars within a particular account. For example, iCloud is my primary account. And in that iCloud account, I have a home calendar, a work calendar, a family calendar. Now, you get a family calendar by setting up family sharing on your device, and that will allow everyone in the family to access the calendar. And of course, when I have events that pertain only to me, I add them to home or work. But when I have events that pertain to the whole family, we add them to the family calendar, and they show up for everybody, my wife and kids and myself. And then, of course, I even have our public TTJ training calendar, which we can all see. You can have read-only calendars like that, and these are great for people to subscribe to. Let's think of about maybe a soccer team, for example, wanting to set up a calendar with their games and their practices on it. And it's not that they certainly don't want, parents and kids modifying those events, right? But they want them to be able to see them. So you could create a calendar, share it, make it public or private, it doesn't matter, but make it read-only, and you're good to go. So there's lots and lots of features. We're only going to be able to just, scratch the surface here today, but I'd like to...
Calendar, Monday, March 28th. Double tap to open.
like to open that up.
Calendar, Toolbar, Calendars, button.
All right. This app is a little bit different than some of the others we've looked at because it has a sort of toolbar on the left-hand side. Now, it's not quite a traditional sidebar as sidebars go, but it is a toolbar along the left-hand side, and you can drag your finger.
Toolbar.
Let me.
March 2000.
See?
Toolbar, Calendars, button. Inbox, button. List,
So I can swipe left to right,
list, button.
and I can tap
Monday,
and touch like
Sunday.
that too. See? So what we have
Toolbar, Calendars, button.
if you want to access one of these, you double tap it to select it. Or for non-voiceover users, you just tap it to select it.
Calendars, button.
Calendars is the first one, and this is where you can see all of the calendars that you have. So if I select it,
Selected, Calendars.
you notice that now it says that it is selected, and that's so important because now when we swipe to the right,
Landscape, inbox, list, button, add, button, calendars.
so you see,
Toolbar, add, button, calendars. Gmail, heading, hide all, button. Selected, contacts, shared by contacts, button. Selected, family, shared by family, button. Selected, holidays in United States, shared by holidays in United States, button. Selected, thetechjuggernaut@gmail.com, button. iCloud,
okay.
heading.
So there are 4 calendars in my Google account. I rarely use my Google Calendar, but I have it active because we have some Google Nest Hub devices. So if I want to schedule an event that people can see in the kitchen or downstairs or something, I will put it on the Google Calendar, but I'll probably also put it on iCloud because we really love iCloud, and that's really what all of our devices are. But you notice it has its own US holidays and different things like that. But now we're into
iCloud, heading.
our iCloud calendars. This is where we really do our stuff.
Hide all, button, heading.
You can hide them if you don't want them to show up, but if you hide a calendar, then you're not going to get notifications for its events, and Siri won't find its events, and so on either. So we like to show everything.
Selected, home, button. Selected, TTG training, public and shared with Clifton Antonio Miller Sr., button. Selected, family, shared with Jessica Volbrecht end, button.
And there's more.
Actions available.
Okay.
Selected, work, button. Selected, TTG team, shared with Rita Howells end, button.
Okay.
Selected, Rita test, public. Selected, untitled calendar, other, heading. Hide all, button. Toolbar, add calendar,
So
button.
you can see, and then at the bottom
Hide
there,
all, button. Day, button.
we have
Toolbar, hide
we
all,
have this
add calendar, button.
add calendar button where we can easily double tap
Selected.
to
Series
create a new calendar if we want to. And
Selected, U.S. holidays, subscribed, button. Selected, gift, birthdays. Selected, Siri suggestions. Show declined events.
okay.
Toolbar,
So
add calendar.
there were some more things there I wanted you to hear that we also have selected, right? We have U.S. holidays. We have the birthdays calendar. So when you put in a contact's birthday, as we taught you to do before, it will show up there. We have the Siri suggestions calendar. So if you are texting with somebody and you say, how about lunch tomorrow at noon? Well, it will put a Siri suggestion for lunch with, whomever you were texting for tomorrow at noon. So it is a really, really great feature. Siri is proactive, as it's called, and it will, discover those things, or maybe an email with a hotel confirmation or a train or plane ticket, and you can get that, and it will again just show up in the Siri suggestions. So then if it is accurate, which it usually is, you can add it then to one of your calendars of choice. I also would point out there were actions. So for voiceover users, you swipe up and down. Everybody else, you just tap and hold or swipe left or right.
Selected, gift, birthdays. Hide calendars. Toolbar,
So
add.
let's
button.
go back to one of these calendars here.
Hide all. Selected.
And you can
family,
see-
shared by family. Button. More info. Activate. More info. Activate.
Okay, more
Default.
info is the option. And what more info does is it gives you all kinds of extra information about the calendar. It allows you to choose a color for the calendar. It is also where you go if you want to share a calendar. Remember, I said you can create more calendars and you can even share them yourself if you choose. And that's where you go to do that. You do the more info option. All right, tap and hold, or again, with VoiceOver, just use the rotor. you'll find more. You go in there and you can choose to share the calendar. And when you do, you can invite people to be part of the shared calendar. People you invite can see the changes, can make changes if you allow it. And then you can also make the calendar public, right? So that it can be viewed with just, subscribed to with just a link. So you have all sorts of options there, and you'll again find them in the more rotor action.
More info.
Okay, so here, for example,
Selected holidays and you selected selected TTG selected family selected work button.
my work calendar, I'll just
Swipe
show you.
up, more info. Cancel button.
Cancel if we don't want to make any changes. Just listen to these choices.
Edit calendar. Heading. Done. Dimmed. Work. Text field.
There's the name field.
Double tap to edit. Shared with. Heading. Add person.
See, you can add a person to share it with.
Color. Heading. Purple. Button. Notifications. Heading. Event alerts. Switched button. On. Allow events on this calendar to display alerts. Public calendar. Switched button. Off. Allow anyone to subscribe to a read-only version of this calendar. Delete calendar.
And there you go. All right, let's get out of that. Okay.
Toolbar.
Let's now deselect our calendars button, which is still...
Toolbar. Selected. Calendars. Calendars.
All right, so now we've deselected it. We've hidden that. To the right,
Inbox. Button.
there's your inbox. If you show this by double tapping it, it will show any invites that you have received to events. And if you have shared calendars like the family calendar, it will show any shared calendar changes for you to hit OK on. So that's where you show the inbox. You can do that there. Next,
List. Button.
display your events as a list.
Add. Button.
And there's the add button to add events to your calendar. Now, if we go to the right,
Day. Button. Selected. Week. Button. 2 of 4. Month. Button. Year. Button. Search. Search field.
okay.
Dictate. Button.
So we have 4 choices there, day, week, month, and year of the view of the calendar. I have mine set in week. You'll notice it said week was selected. I recommend that, although it's certainly not required. One of the things you realize about iOS and iPad OS and Apple devices in general is that you don't need to have something specific set to make it work with VoiceOver. Any of them will work, but I do like week view, so that's where I'll leave mine. We had day, week, month, and year view. Then we had a search button, a search field rather, with a dictate button.
Here.
And if we keep going, we get into the main part of the calendar, which I'm not going to do until we show you how to create an event. So let's swipe back to the left to find that add button.
Day. Toolbar. Add. Button. Add. Text field. Is editing. Title. Word mode. Insertion point at start.
There's my
Use the rotor to access
my
misspelled
first field.
words.
It's the event title. All right. What do I want to have for the event title? Well, let's say we're going to get together with the TTJ instructor team from...
PTJ Tech.
So maybe we want to have lunch. So we'll call it Trainer Lunch.
Cap R-U-N-E. All trainer.
Trainer.
Shift.
Let's put a capital
Cap
L just to make it look really
U-N-H
professional
space
there. And we
lunch.
have Trainer Lunch. Let's listen
Space.
to the...
Lunches. Make lunches. Add. Text field. Is editing. Trainer lunch. Word mode. Insertion point.
Now you'll notice if I swipe to the left,
Add. Button. New event. Heading. Cancel. Button.
right? So we have the cancel button at the top left. We have the heading, which is the title of the screen we're on. And then we have the add button, which is what we'll hit when we're ready to completely create this event. Let's go to the right.
New event. Add. Button. Text field. Is editing. Trainer lunch. Clear text. Button.
By the way, it may have made suggestions to me if there were Siri suggestions that it thought I should choose from, but I just typed the whole thing.
Location or video call.
All right, is this a location or a video call? So we'll double tap that.
Search field. Is editing. Enter location or video call. Word mode.
Okay.
Insertion.
You can enter a location, an address, a name of a business, or if you swipe to the right,
Dictate. Current location.
we can double tap that to select our current location to say that that's where the event is going to be, is going to take place.
Video call. Heading. FaceTime.
We can double tap that to indicate that it's going to be a FaceTime call. Perhaps we will generate a link.
Recents. Heading.
And then we have our recent locations that we've used for other events.
Pit Theater. One. Undo. Dimmed. Pit Theater.
And
Recents.
the only one it has in there right now is the Pit Theater, which is a movie theater near us. A very nice theater, by the way. But I want to have this lunch not at the Pit Theater. I want to have this lunch at Olive Garden. So I'm going to start
Capital.
typing
Capital
OLIV. That's probably enough. Let's tap up here on the top middle right of the screen.
Olive Garden. Paste. Dimmed. But Olive Garden. 3315.
You notice it already found it, and if I let the address play out, that's the correct one I want. So I'm going to double tap it.
Suggestion. Cellular.
Okay. And what it did now is that you'll notice that if I show you, it has that in there, and I can it put it just to the right of the clear text button.
Search feed. Clear text.
It
3315.
has the address, so I'll double tap again.
Select location. Head cancel. New event. Heading.
Brings us back to the new locations, the new event screen. So we double tapped on the name of the business. It put it just to the right of the clear text field. Then we double tapped on it again, and now it has inserted it.
Add. Trainer lunch. 3315 plus.
See, it has the address there.
Clear text. Button. All day. Switched button. Off.
Okay. Is this an
Double tap to
all-day
toggle
event? If it is, we just double tap to turn that setting on. For sighted folks, it's a toggle. You can, turn the switch on.
All day. Switched button. Off.
Okay.
Double tap to toggle setting.
I'm sure we could sit there all day and chat and eat, but, they maybe have a bit of a time constraint, so it's not going to be an all-day event.
Starts 4 a.m. March 28th, 2022.
That is strictly informational. Do not attempt to double tap that. There's nothing that's going to happen if you do. That is information only. Listen again.
Starts 4 a.m. March 28th, 2022.
Don't double tap that. Swipe right.
March 28th, 2022. Button.
There's
collapsed. Double tap to expand.
All right, listen to that again. That's my date picker.
March 28th, 2022. Button. Collapsed. Double tap to expand.
And to the right of it
4 a.m. Button. Collapsed. Double tap to expand.
is my time picker. So let's expand the date picker because it's not going to be March 28th. We're going to have lunch on April, let's say, 4th.
March 28th, 2022. Expanded.
Swipe.
Month, March 2022. Button. Adjustable.
Listen to that again.
Month. March 2022. Button. Adjustable. Double tap to change month and year. Swipe up or down with one finger to adjust the value.
Now, what in the world are you hearing, guys? Okay, what this is it's what I like to call a hybrid screen element, okay? I don't know what Apple would call it, but that's what I like to call it, is a hybrid screen element, because I think that nicely represents what it is. It's a combination of a button and a value adjuster. If we double tap it, it will also show the year instead of just the month. And the benefit of that is if I'm trying to schedule this trainer lunch in 2023 or 2024, 2025, instead of in 2022, maybe I don't have to go through every single month. I can change the year first, right? But if I'm going to be in, within this year or something close to it, I can leave that year picker hidden. And so I can just swipe up if I want to change the month, okay?
April 2020, May 2000, June 2020.
Swipe down to go back.
May 2000, April 2022.
And then we're going to say it's in April. All right, what you now have if you swipe to the right is an entire calendar for the month that you've selected. Listen.
Friday, April 1st, Saturday, April 2nd, Sunday, April 3rd, Monday, April 4th, button.
This is great, right? Except, what if my event's on April 27th? Do I really want to have to swipe 27 times? And the answer is, of course, I do not want to have to do that. So how can I avoid it? This is where we introduce something else in the rotor, because if you have sight, you can see, you can just tap on the correct date on the calendar. You don't have to worry about this. But if not, and you don't want to do it by touch, we will introduce another option in the rotor, vertical navigation. In the calendar date picker, vertical navigation will move you 1 week at a time, okay? Because the dates come right above and below each other by week like that. So we've talked about it before. Now we're really going to use it, vertical navigation, and it works not only in calendar date pickers, but also in reminders too. So let's turn the rotor until we hear vertical.
Character, language, screen containers.
That was screen
recognition. Containers, vertical navigation.
Now, do you remember what date we were on? It was April the 4th.
Monday, April 4th.
And if we swipe right, we're going to get April 5th. If we swipe left, we're going to get April 3rd. But if we swipe down, now that the rotor is set to vertical navigation,
Monday, April 11th. Monday, April 18th. Monday, April 25th. Button.
And I said our lunch was on the 27th, so now just swipe 2 to the right.
Tuesday, Wednesday, April 27th.
And double
button.
tap.
Selected. Wednesday, April 27th.
And there you go. Now we can swipe back up a few times.
Wednesday, April 6th. Button.
And we can swipe left.
Friday, month, April 2020. 4 a.m. Button. April 27th. 2022 button. Expanded.
And we can collapse that.
Double tap to collapse. April 27th, 2022. Collapsed.
The next one we're going to do is the time picker. So what time is this event? Well, it's not at 4 a.m. It's going to be at 12:15. So swipe to the right.
4 a.m. button. Ends. 4 a.m. button.
Sorry.
Collapsed.
Double tap.
4 a.m. Expanded.
All right, swipe to the right.
4 o'clock. Picker item. 00 minutes. Picker item. AM. Picker item.
Now you notice that you have 3 pickers here. The AM and PM picker is the last one. The first one was the hour. The second one was the minute. So if you like doing it that way, I could just swipe like this, for example.
4 o'clock. Picker item.
Swipe up or down, in this case down.
3, 2, 1 o'clock. 12 o'clock. 12 of 12.
Okay?
00.
That's fine. But what if your event is at like 12:55? Again, do I really want to have to swipe 50 some odd times to get there? No, I don't. So this is where the time picker is, again, another hybrid element. You can actually type the time of the event if you wish to do so. Now, in order to do this, you have to not overthink it. You have to not try to move your voiceover cursor or do anything weird or delete anything. All you're going to do is double tap on the minute, but then you're actually going to type the whole time, hour and minute, and you're going to do a 1 or 2 digit hour, depending on what it is. If it's 9, you only do 9. You don't need to do 09. But if it's 11, it's 2 digits, right? 1, 1. So you do a 1 or a 2 digit hour followed by definitely a 2 digit minute no matter what. So 12:05 would be 1205. 9:15 would be 915. 8:05 a.m. would be 8:05. 8 o'clock would be 8:00. 8:30 would be 8:30. You get the idea. We are going to set this up for 12:15, and I am indeed going to use the typing method. So
AM. 00 minutes. Picker item.
Double tap.
Adjustable.
Double-
1 of 60.
double tap.
Swipe up or down with one finger to
We're not going to do that. We're double tap.
minutes. 00 minutes. Adjustable.
You heard that I have a little pop-up. It didn't say anything, but you heard the pop-over sound. Where is the keypad?
Dismiss pop.
I will tell you that the keypad is on
Dismiss pop.
the sort of the middle left-hand side of the screen, slightly lower than probably halfway down, but on the left-hand side, it's telephone style, so
1.
I'll double tap. I gotta
1. 1.
your typing mode doesn't matter here. We're gonna double tap that, and then
2. 1. 4.
Whoops.
5.
5. Okay. And then what we're going to do is tap off of it.
Dismiss pop-up. Cancel button.
And now let's look at it.
Starts. 12:15 a.m. April 27th, 2022.
Now all I got to do is swipe over and change to PM.
12 o'clock, 15 a.m. p.m. 2 of 2.
I just swiped up. Swipe back down if you want to go back to AM. So you notice that while we were typing the hour and the minute, we didn't get verbal confirmation. I did have keyboard clicks, but you may not have been able to hear them, but it didn't echo the thing I typed again like in other text fields because it's a little bit different here. So again, the goal here is not to overthink it, but just to do it and be confident that it's going to be right. If you'd prefer not to, though, there's nothing that says you have to do it that way. Remember, you can use the pickers. All right, so we set our start time for the event.
Time zone, New York button.
Correct.
Ends 1:15 p.m. April 27th, 2022.
Again, remember, that is not something to double tap on. That is information only, strictly information. If you want to make a change to the end time, you got to swipe to the right.
April 27th, 2022.
It's still going to end on the same date, but
1:15 p.m. button. Collapsed.
maybe
Double tap to 1:15 p.m. Expanded. 1 o'clock.
we're going to have longer than a 1 hour lunch. So
2 o'clock. 2 of 12.
we'll do 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. 3 of 12.
And we'll go, that's a 3 hour lunch. Let's go to
15 minutes.
all right, now this time we will just swipe down.
50.
Whoops,
10
sorry.
minutes. 15 minutes. 10 minutes. 5 minutes. 00 minutes.
Yeah, so I lied to you. I forgot that it doesn't go minute by minute on this. It goes by 5-minute intervals. So we wouldn't have had to swipe 50 sometimes to get to 12:55 in my previous example. But it's still, just nice to know you have that option. So now,
April ends 3 p.m. April 27th.
Yep. See, I'm swiping back to the left to that place that I said is information only so that we can hear it. All right, let's swipe right.
00 p.m. Time zone, New York. Repeat, never, button.
Does this event repeat? So let's look at our repeat options.
Selected, never. Every day, every week, every 2 weeks, every month, every year. Custom, button.
Custom is crazy. Custom is really, really powerful. You can do so much with this custom thing, but it's not easy. I urge you to play with it because I just can't give you every example right now. But know that we can do really cool things like on the second Tuesday of each month, or every week on Monday and Wednesday, or, you know, weird, really cool options here that are beyond just the basic repeat options that we had. And perhaps if we get a lot of requests for it, we'll do a TTJ extra on it. All right. But for right now, we got to keep moving. So we're not going to do that. And there is no repeat for this. It's not a recurring event. So
every day selected, repeat.
Leave it on never and go back here.
New event, back button, new event,
New
cancel,
event. Let's
button.
see what else we might have here that we could play with. Anything that...
April travel 3 repeat travel time none button.
All right, I do want to put travel time onto this. I've already selected the location of the event, so it should be very easy to double tap.
Travel new event back button.
Swipe right.
Travel time heading travel time switched button off.
First we turn it on.
Double tap to toggle setting on.
Now we swipe right.
5 minutes. Travel time.
All right.
Switched button on.
Now here's the thing.
Double tap to
This
15
is
minutes. 1 hour selected 30.
this is. I have a feeling that I got to check something before we go any further. I think that probably. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I went back to my location to check this again, and I want to show you that when I searched again, I got a different sort of scenario here for the location.
Current location. Contacts. Heading.
It has my contacts.
Olive Garden. Map locations. Heading.
And then it has map locations.
Olivia. MN. Olive Branch. Olive Garden. 3315 selected.
And now,
Cancel.
when I double tapped it, it automatically took me back to the calendar. I think I chose the wrong one before because I was getting some weird behavior in the travel time thing. So I did the location again, and now it should be good.
March 5 a.m. Repeat. Travel time none, but travel new event. Travel time heading.
We'll turn it on.
Travel time switched button off on.
We'll swipe right.
Starting location 415.
And you see, it says starting location, which indicates to me that I can change where we're starting from. But it already has the correct starting location, which is home. And if I swipe right,
select a starting location to automatically determine travel time, or select a time below.
so I can still manually pick, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna let it choose if I go to the right.
Selected, based on location, 45 minutes.
And that is right. Now, that would be based on current traffic conditions. If, in fact, there's a lot of traffic, it may increase that time. So we're going to swipe back to the left because everything's selected the way we want it.
New event, back, new event, travel time, 45 minutes, button.
All right, we're right where we left off. Go to the right.
Calendar, home, button.
And that's fine. We'll leave it on the home calendar, but we already showed you the different calendars we had. So if we double tap this, we certainly could change it to the family calendar, or the TTJ calendar, or the work, anything else. Go to the right.
Invitees, none, button.
All right, if we want to invite other people that are not part of a shared calendar, we can double tap this and we can enter their email address to invite them. And again, if the email address is the person's Apple ID, it will automatically send that invite directly to their calendar, to their inbox. If it's not, then it will actually show it as an email message to them. Okay.
Alert, 1 day before, but second alert, time to leave, button.
I already have the alerts exactly the way I want them. First one is 1 day ahead of time, 1 day before. Second one is time to leave, and that again is based on current traffic conditions, real time. So it's going to give you a couple extra minutes too. Like it said 45 minutes. It'll probably actually tell me to leave about 47 to 48 minutes ahead of time so I can, get in the car and stuff. You can customize your default alert times under settings and calendar if you want to change the default alert times, or of course right here as you're creating the event on the fly, you can change the alert times for that particular event, which is certainly something I do at times. Now, also going back to that travel time thing one more time, if you happen to live in an area where maybe there's public transportation, or it would seem like maybe walking distance is not unreasonable. It's going to give you different options. In my case, it just had based on current location 45 minutes because driving is really the only practical option for us. All right, let's go to the right of these alerts.
Show as busy button. Add attachment button.
So you can add an attachment. You can modify how it shows up on your calendar.
URL text field.
You can add a website. Maybe I put the Olive Garden website in there so everybody can look at the menu ahead of time, right? Double tap and just start typing it.
Notes. Notes. Notes.
Now listen to that. This is where we can edit.
Notes. Text field. Double tap to edit.
Add notes for the event specifically that we want people to be aware of, you know?
Text
and
field.
that's the last field. So now if I do a 4-finger single tap near the top,
cancel button.
I can cancel, or
new event, add button.
If I like it, if I'm good with it, I can hit add, and that will save the event, and it'll sync to all my devices. In my case, I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel.
Cancel, but can't alert. Are you sure you want to discard this new event? Discard changes button. Discard change March 2000 toolbar.
All right, so there you go. That is how you create events on the calendar. Let's move on. All right, guys, we have one more thing for right now, and then we're going to go on to another app in our app Bonanza. How do we find events that have already been added to the calendar? I'm going to show you 3 different ways to do it. The first way is using Siri. So with Siri, we have a couple of ways we can say things. We can do something like this. What's on my calendar for tomorrow?
You have 5 appointments. Here are the first 3. On Tuesday at 2 p.m., TTJ Virtual Help Session. All day tomorrow, Carson Wade Valbrecht's birthday. All day tomorrow, Carson's birthday. Do you want to hear the remaining 2?
Sure.
All day tomorrow, Carson's birthday. And all day tomorrow, Carson Wade Valbrecht's 15th birthday.
Okay, so he got in there a couple times, probably because when I set that up, it was before I had kept things straight with my contacts, and I may have it in a couple places or something weird like that, okay? But you did hear that there were other events, the TTJ help session. You know, again, we could ask any day. You know, we said tomorrow. We could do, you know, something like this. What's on my calendar for April 2nd?
You have 2 appointments. On Saturday at 9 a.m., Carson Ref training. Then, all day Saturday, beginning of Ramadan.
Okay. Now, another thing, we just heard that Carson's ref training, he's going to maybe do some refereeing for soccer, is on that day. So I could also ask it in some way, a way like this. When is my appointment called Carson Ref Training?
You have 1 appointment coming up. On Saturday at 9 a.m., Carson Ref Training at Bedford County Christian Church.
So you see how that works. It will work either way. Either way, you can query our favorite assistant there, and she'll give us good information. So that's way number 1, to find things on your calendar. Way number 2 is to use the search field, right? Remember that there is a search field, and I'm not going to go into great detail about that and demonstrate it, but know that it is there, remember?
Day, select month, year, search field.
Okay.
Double tap to edit.
You can search for event names and things of that nature. Now, the other thing that you can do, if we go to the right.
Dictate, March 2022. Today, button.
If we hit that button, that jumps us to today's date no matter where we are. That's good to know. Go to the right.
Sunday, March 27th. Sunday, March 27th, 12 a.m. 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
Look at this. If we get to an hour
8, 9 a.m. Church, 2-3 North.
Where there's actually an event, it tells us. But is this really how I have to go through my calendar hour by hour? No. There's a really wonderful shortcut that we can do. Actually, 2 options. We can make our events a list, which you saw that in the toolbar. But here's the one I really love. The events rotor. Again, remember that the rotor is context aware, And so it is dynamic, right? And it knows that we're in the calendar. And so there is a new option in the rotor called events. Now, to access it, we're going to turn the rotor until we hear events.
Events.
Now, depending on what view you're in, it's going to let you swipe up and down with one finger to go to the next or previous event in whatever given time frame. Like we are set to week view. So if I swipe up and down, it will go through all the events within a given week. First, the individual events, and then the all-day events. So let's swipe up to see as far back as we can go. We are, so let's swipe down.
Monday, March 28th.
So we
iPad.
swipe up again. We remember that.
Sunday, March 27th. Church, Monday, March 28th. iPad for all computing, HTTP. Tuesday, March 29th. TTJ Virtual Help Session, Wednesday, March 30th. iPad for all computing, Covenant Men, 2-3
You notice that one had 2 events for Wednesday. And then
Saturday, April 2nd. Carson Ref Training, Bedford. Saturday, April 2nd. Beginning of Ramadan, all day, U.S. holidays, button. Friday, April 1st. April Fool's Day, all day, U.S. holidays, button. Tuesday, March 29th. Carson Wade Volbrecht's birthday. Monday, March 28th. Sandy O'Shaughness's 32nd birthday. Tuesday, March 29th. Carson's birthday. Friday, April 1st. Melissa Hargland's birthday. Tuesday, March 29th. Carson's birthday. Carson Wade Volbrecht's 15th birthday. All day birthday.
And if I really wanted to, I could look and see which calendars these are coming from so that I don't have 4 instances of his birthday. But that's okay for now. But you see, it did take us back to earlier in the week for the all-day events. Now, that's everything this week. So what do I do if I want to go to the next week? Well, very simple. I do a 3-finger swipe from right to left and watch what you hear.
Week of April 3rd.
If I go back to the right.
Week of March 27th.
Left.
Week of April 3rd.
So now if I start rotoring.
Thursday.
Is that a word? Let's go all the way up to the top.
Sunday, April 3rd. Church, Monday, April 4th. iPad for all. Tuesday, April 5th. Audio editing workshop, Zoom, from 12 p.m. TTJ Virtual Help Session, Wednesday, April 6th. iPad for all. Covenant Men, Thursday, April 7th. Test event.
And you see I have no, what did I do with that test
April
event there? Let me
7th.
see.
Test event, movie theater, from 3.
I must have done that one before just for fun. And then you can see that if we keep going, we can go week by week, right?
Week of
So
Sunday,
that's how you
March
do this. It's really, really simple, and it's really, really cool. And we've now shown you, I think, about enough to really be very productive and very powerful in using this calendar. Because my goodness, guys, how important is it to keep track of events on our calendar? And we don't want to have to pull out the old Braille note or Perkins Brailler or the cassette recorder anymore. And we don't have to. We can do it all from our favorite device, these Apple iPads. I want to give you a couple of minutes break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to continue with our App Bonanza.